Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I would like to discuss an issue with the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro that Apple appears to be covering for free for their customers, which is a good thing. I like the fact that they are covering the issue very shortly after the manufacturing of the devices. So it says here, iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro service program for no sound issues. Apple has determined that a very small percentage, not just a small percentage like what they used to say, a very small percentage. Holy shit. Of iPhone 12 and 12 Pro devices may experience sound issues due to a component that might fail in the receiver module. Affected devices were manufactured between October 2020 and October 2021. If your iPhone 12 or 12 Pro does not emit sound from the receiver when you make or receive calls, it may be eligible for service. Now, this is a considerable step forward from what they did with items like the iPhone 7. So on the iPhone 7, as Jessa shows in one of these videos, you often have the board flexing, and as the board flexes inside of the phone, there is an audio IC, there's a solder ball under it that starts to become disconnected. The pad becomes disconnected. She fixes it by resoldering it on there with a jumper wire that gives a little bit more stability in that area, and she goes through how to do it here. She does this on a regular basis. She's done a lot of videos on it. And what was really, really sad when that came out is that there was an iPhone 7 no service problem that's caused by the exact same thing, pretty much the exact same thing, which is the board flexing inside the case, this time around the baseband area. And Apple covers the no service issue for free, but they do not cover the audio IC issue. So if you had an iPhone 7 and your audio stopped working, you were pretty much screwed and out of luck. But with the iPhone 12, it's very soon after the devices were manufactured. Again, it hasn't even been a year yet, and they are more than happy to replace that for free, which is a step in the right direction. I would commend Apple for doing this. Again, the whole gaslighting you by saying it's a small percentage, and I'm not exactly for that, but I am for them finally covering their devices and standing behind them. And this is really all I've advocated for here for a long time. I get a lot of hate in r/Apple for saying, why are you always saying bad things about these devices and blah, blah, blah. What I want them to do is if they release a product or a device that has a major design flaw or defect, and it's clear and demonstrable that it exists more so in this product than in the competitor's products, to just admit it and say, listen, we screwed up. This is an $800 to $1,200 device. You paid out the ass for it. You should be, here, we'll fix it for you. When I do these videos where I point out all of the design flaws in Apple products over the years and how they pretended they weren't an issue until they got sued, this is not just to bash Apple. It's because I actually want them to treat the consumer better. I want the people that come to my store that pay me for things that they should not be paying me for to stop paying me for those things. Pay me when you take your phone in the ocean and you lose your data. Pay me when you drop your hard drive off the table. People shouldn't be paying me to fix defects in the products that were sold to them as top-tier products. And this is a step in the right direction. They're treating you, the consumer, better. They are fixing something that shouldn't have been a problem in the beginning. They're admitting it was a problem, and they're not waiting forever. They're not waiting until they get sued or some class action lawsuit or it gets featured in the news. They're covering it immediately. And that's something I can respect them for, even if I dislike other areas of how they run their business. And I think it's great that they're doing that with the 12, whereas they did not do that with the 7. With the iPhone 7, when you had audio issues and it was a very clear defect, they made the same mistake in the iPhone 7 that was made with the 6 Plus and Touch IC, they didn't cover you. They actually covered you if it affected your service, but not if it affected your audio. But here, they're covering it when it affects your audio. I imagine it's because this is a cheaper issue to repair in the 12 than it was in the 7. In the 7, you had a board level issue, and that's going to be more costly for them to repair at their depot repair centers. But it's still a step in the right direction, and I'm still happy that Apple is doing this. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. I've screwed up many times in the past. I will screw up many times into the future. And, it's the sign of people that are trying, that are striving towards success, people who never fail or people who never tried anything. It's what you do when you fail that defines you. Do you take accountability and responsibility for it, go, damn, I screwed up, and never do that again? Or do you just sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened? And here, Apple is not pretending it never happened. It's not taking 4 years to come out with it, like they did with the 2011 MacBook Pro extended GPU program. So, the 2011 MacBook Pros, those are failing for very close to the very beginning, and they didn't release a recall program until 2015. Here, again, the phone was manufactured less than a year ago. We'll start fixing them immediately. It's great progress, and I think it's important to call out when Apple does something that's good, when they admit that they screwed up or that it should be rewarded. Because if you reward companies when they do something good, maybe they'll do more of it into the future. Maybe you'll get more of that behavior that you want out of them. Small number, small number, small number, small number, small number, small number, Small number.
You're gonna
Small
die
number.
of cancer, I promise.
Small number.
You're gonna die
Small
of
number.
cancer, I promise.
I actually had a ridiculous dream about this last night because I was reading an article on COVID, and then I read an article on this right after, and then I fell asleep. And I had this ridiculous fever dream of Tim Cook as the head of epidemiology for the country, and Anthony Fauci in charge of Apple. And Tim Cook looked at Andrew Cuomo and said, "Don't worry, it was only a small percentage of people in nursing homes that died of COVID. COVID has only killed a small percentage of people. Feel free, go to Sturgis, have fun. We should never have a lockdown." And Anthony Fauci shutting down the production of everything at Apple after one 2011 MacBook Pro had a bad GPU. Completely ridiculous, completely ridiculous. But I actually did have a dream of Tim Cook, as the head of epidemiology, and the approach that he would take with it's a small percentage, it's a very small percentage, versus the approach Fauci would take to running recalls on Apple products. I don't even know why I included it in there. Yeah, I have a lot of silly, ridiculous dreams, and I journal them from time to time, but I don't mention them on YouTube. But I think I may start mentioning them on YouTube when I find them entertaining, amusing, or silly. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.